And we are live. Oh, look, they're all excited. Look at that. Yippee. Hoo-hoo. Why is it the show starting?
Hoo-hoo.
Shake a leg and let's kick it. Yeah, there is a hoo-hoo.
Allow me to say the following. I do recall one of the things that I did say that night as I grabbed the Chambon glasses. Who wants to make mistakes?
Yeah.
Everybody.
That happened.
Everybody. And that's why you have to listen to sound check. And that's why we are 7 minutes late. Right, Nicole?
Get it the fuck together, Sam.
That's what I needed to do, and I did not.
Taylor says
That was so.
he's filled with conticipation.
Had to make people. I had to make people do shots of Malort too. That became a thing.
Oh my God, yes, it was glorious.
If I would have just sat back in my little corner with my dog and kept drinking whiskey at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd have stumbled into bed and gone to sleep, and I wouldn't have been privy to anything else, and my foot would work.
Yeah.
And that is all the teaser you're allowed to do.
Didn't you say myself and one of the members of the party did a really bad version of Waiting Room that we decided to blare, even though you kept turning it down?
Oh, no. Nicole and I pulled the plug on that one within 30 seconds.
Okay, good.
Yikes.
Because I don't even know what part I would have been singing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
There's two
bad.
parts.
I'm bad at karaoke. I am bad at karaoke. I never had the plug pulled.
You did sing Goodbye Ezra.
Oh, yeah, I sang that. I sang
you sang Chantilly Lace.
Yep.
That's all you're good at that I've ever heard. And I've known you almost 20 years.
Yeah, I do some Stone Temple Pilot stuff okay and shit like that. So yeah. I do a bunch of 90s shit well.
Which was great.
Which most of the people there are like, what's this?
No, honestly, most of them, that's what they're into. Like,
No, I know, because all smart people are.
They
I'm
were
just
all
saying.
hitting shit off my playlist, and I'm like, y'all.
No, I'm just
kissing
making
up
fun
to
of
the
Sam
right
because he's
people.
old.
Yeah. So
Oh, I did have the best line when Cameron goes, we know more than show tunes, and I said to them all, your auditions would suggest otherwise.
That's pretty good.
oh, fucking brilliant.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that was fun.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get to a show. And
So
Mel,
fuck
you
my
said you
story, yeah.
Oh, no, that's right. Saturday. Sorry,
Oh,
please.
no, it's fine. I don't need
No,
this isn't being recorded. That's okay.
It's still live.
Tell it on injury time.
Tell it on injury time.
Okay. 'Cause I do
$5
wanna-
cunts.
Okay, because I do want to hear about it, because it's,
Geckel says he is a patient boy.
All right. Well, Nicole, I love you, my dear. Again, I am terribly, terribly, terribly sorry for showing my ass on Saturday. That was, you didn't deserve to see that or witness that, and it wasn't fair to you, and thank you for helping.
One more quick disclaimer. That is a figurative showing of the ass, because if you pay your $5 a month, you can hear the full story, and
Yeah.
there was some ass showing. Actual ass showing.
So, and again,
Give me enough money and I'll show you any one of their asses.
and MVP,
Oh, thanks.
MVP for the last couple of days has been my beautiful bride, who's been helping me with everything, as I'm just not really even able to fucking walk right now.
It is called banking favors.
Yep, definitely. All right. Bye, Nicole.
Bye, honey. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye,
Love
sweet
you.
pea.
Love
Love
you
you
too.
too.
Bye.
And yes, I do love Nicole so much. I don't do the bit with her.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. And you said you got the intro. We're good to go.
We are good
let's
to go.
Let's go ahead and do a show, kids.
All right, here
Come
we
on.
go.
Hello, DU Football Show. Ken here, Manchester United.
I put it in the wrong thing. Fuck. All right, hold on, guys. Sorry,
Okay.
keep talking.
All right, we'll keep talking then. It's
I got distracted. I don't think I actually put it on the board.
oh, that's good. Professional.
You know, what did you just say about me?
She was
MVP?
banking-
Maybe. I was
banking-
too busy
Man,
taking care of you.
that's minus one favor.
Banking them favors. Banking them favors and already using them up.
Things are starting to level out again.
You motherfuckers.
So, yes, everybody, we talked about it on Soundcheck, but I am currently in a boot, and your boy is down and out for at least 4 to 6 weeks with potentially a torn ligament in his foot. No break, but the ligament, it hurts real fuck bad.
Yeah, sprains can be worse.
And my entire foot is swollen, and it's black and blue everywhere. And,
Bones do a very specific thing to heal.
yeah.
Ligaments can just be fucked up forever.
Right.
So it's one of those, like, that's why doctors will tell you, like, ankles and stuff, they'll tell you, like, sprains can potentially be worse than breaks.
Right.
For that reason.
Yeah, so I have to.
All right, so it's worth it because here we go. Some comments. Big Sam, half blind, partial cripple, cardiac issues, free to go at home. We call him lucky.
Yeah, that was an old Larry the Cable Guy bit.
Yeah. There you go. All right, we're
I
in
met
now.
this guy had no shoe or he had no legs, one arm, covered in moles.
All right.
Name was Lucky.
All right.
I'm ready. My apologies.
No problem. All good, babe.
Hello, this is Taylor Thompson from Wichita, Kansas, and I'm an Everton fan. And we suck, bitches, and we're probably fucking leaving. And you are listening to the DU Football Show.
It's not been a good start for Everton.
No.
Yeah.
No, sure hasn't.
Yeah. I mean, it was such a bad start. I decided to get blind, stinking drunk, and fall up my stairs and fuck up my foot, and now in a boot. But hey, you won.
We did.
You know, excited
Yeah.
about that?
Very.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston. Sam Houston? Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Smell the Malort. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey. Sam Graham. Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks.
That's us.
I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, a man with a story to tell, my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham.
Oh, yeah. Let's just call it Bubble Boy, the story of the Bubble Boy.
Heard Bubble Boy.
But
There-
you're going to have to go to patreon.com/D Football Show to hear the rest of that story. Sign up to that one $5 tier. You get Injury Time, which is our preview show. And then we share some other, potentially personal stories like we do on Soundcheck, the other show that's behind a paywall.
Maryland Live must have gotten you good. You're already pimping the Patreon.
Man, that was my first bet of the fucking season.
And on the ones and twos, we have producer Mel. How you doing, producer Mel?
Hey, I am sober and pressing buttons.
How about that?
Yeah, if you want to hear the root of that story, sound check and find out which one of my friends came to the party and went, "Oh, I'm about to make a name for myself."
With the sheriff's office.
Note, she's saying all of this with her magic pen in hand. We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get podcasts. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night on Twitch, on YouTube, and fuck Twitter because Twitter won't do that.
X,
and,
Sam.
fuck
The
'em.
smartest man in the world named it X. You should respect that.
Right. And also on Facebook and Instagram as well. Should you want to chat with us, there's many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It is at DU Football Show on all the social medias, of course, and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. Already mentioned about the Patreon, of course, but you also want to check out the DU Drip Shack. That's where you get all your cool swag. This shirt's a couple years old, but we got a bunch of them still.
Yeah,
So
we do.
Go buy one.
Or just catch us live every Monday on YouTube. We got somebody, BX Gunner 81. How am I now only stumbling upon this channel?
Fantastic.
come on.
Well, welcome. Don't worry, it's going to go downhill in a hurry. All we do is drink alcohol and say fuck and kind of talk about footy. But you're an Arsenal person, so you'll get along with Graham just fine.
Absolutely. Hopefully he's not as bad as the rest of us are online.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we've got to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show, even when probably somebody should lay off. Mr. Graham, what are we drinking today?
We are drinking the Ezra Brooks Straight Rye Whiskey. This is 99 proof or 49.5% by volume if you're keeping track at home. This actually looks like it was a single barrel.
No, the bourbon is a single barrel. That's the rye. The rye is not a single barrel.
Okay, awesome. Anyway, it was number 20 on last year's Whiskey Advocate list. For probably the first time ever, we were both a little shy on new whiskeys
Yeah.
at our house, so we had to revisit one. This one was excellent, and if you remember last year's list of the top 20, this was probably the only one that was readily affordable for everyone that just felt like going to get one.
I personally thought it was better than the Hemingway rye.
Pretty
I wasn't
much.
particularly impressed with the
Yeah,
Hemingway rye.
it's actually it's quite nice. Just in general, there's a good amount of toffee over the middle, and the spice on the end is subtle, but you can tell it's there.
Yeah. It's Cole and I both enjoyed a glass of this at the party on Saturday, and then I enjoyed too many glasses after that.
Yeah, and I can tell there's only about a drink left in there.
And Daddy fall down, go boom after that.
Fall down, go boom.
No. All right, what else do we have to do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly, of course, so you don't damage your ligaments.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's fun. Just fun. Fuck me.
Cheers. Have a good show.
Yes.
Melissa?
Let's do this.
Cheers to you.
All right. We start with a game that was billed as the match of the weekend, and it more than delivered as the Gunners avenged demons from the season prior. Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 1. Right off the bat, what a fucking game for the neutral. That was a fantastic match.
I don't think Villa scored, sir.
Still a good fucking match.
It was.
Not
It's
that
because your goalie was fucking on point.
Now that, so
Shit.
I thought he got fingertips to the one he pushed on the crossbar.
No, I did too.
The
but
replays showed he didn't.
But the recovery?
Exactly, because he landed, most of his body was behind the line.
Right.
Ended up getting up and then still at full stretch
Oh,
and
yeah.
was able to palm away Ollie Watkins' follow-up header.
Yeah, because Watkins was there and he was dead to rights on it.
I
and
mean,
then,
just what a game in general. What an advert for the Premier League. It wasn't particularly chippy, although it was physical. It was like a game against Gio's team.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, Fuente's team. Yeah, back when we played.
But grabby, a little physical, but nobody
got mad about it. Yeah, there was no real bust ups. Like so, this game
real
had.
quick. Allow me to say the following as you're going to list off your things. Michael Oliver actually called one hell of a fucking game.
For the first time in fucking history.
He let a lot of shit. He let a lot of shit kind of go both ways. There were multiple times where there was clear advantage. He was letting the advantage be
Yeah,
played.
he could have been
to
a
go
bit
back and card.
nitpicky at times and chose not to be, which let the game flow. It was
Let
nice.
two really good fucking teams play against each other.
And it wasn't ill tempered. The one thing I'd call out about what you said is the Demons from last season. Yes, we didn't beat Villa, but again, I'm going to stress, at least from my side of the coin, the way that I see the game. You know, anyone. What's beautiful about the Premier League is that anyone can beat anyone on any given day. Right. The fact that you've got two top four teams
that would make a great football movie.
either
Given day.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to just be Sunday. Okay, fucking Al Pacino saying.
I know.
If I just wanted you to know that I know something about movies.
I'm just amazed that you know something.
But my entire thing is right, like. You could even expand that to the top six. Really, we could all beat each other on any given Saturday. Well, it's usually Super Sunday, isn't it? When we play each other. Get it? All right, it's back. So I don't think we lost the league to Villa. That was the result that guaranteed it, sure. But I told you before, it's the fucking West Ham 2-0 at home, and it's the goddamn Fulham 2-1. Those are 2-0. That also might have been 2-0. Those are the two games we lost the league, right?
Right.
Because those are teams we should be beating. Those are teams we should be dominating. Those games also happened at the Emirates, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we only finished 2 points behind City. One of those results goes our way.
Right.
We win the league.
Right. Precisely.
Despite dropping twice at Villa.
Yeah.
Right? So take Leicester's win. We're the only team that did the double over Leicester that season.
Right, when they won the title.
Exactly. So to do something like that, it's not necessarily how you do against the other teams that are competing, as long as the timing of the games is right. It's do you do your job against the teams that you should be waxing?
Can you do it in a cold, rainy Wednesday at Stoke?
Exactly. And that's the issue, right? So I'll call you out on every time you say it.
Yeah, it's fine.
But the only real mistake from either side was Emi Martinez's goal. I'm sorry, Thomas Partey's goal. Emi Martinez fucked up a bit,
and
that was the only
and outside of
real
that,
mistake.
Emmy made a couple of great fucking
Great saves as
too.
well. Yeah. I think they showed that angle from behind the goal, and you had. I think he was a bit unsighted. It looked like he got a bit of a late jump to that, and Partey hit it well enough with enough pace. It was a bit of a hopeful shot anyway. It wasn't like a laser beam,
but if you're talking as a keeper, that the hand's got to be harder, the wrist needs to be straighter.
Fair enough. Yeah,
like,
he's a World Cup winning goalkeeper. I mean, I'm sure
you got to make that one.
He knows that.
You need to make that one, and you could tell the minute he got scored on, he rolled right onto his stomach and smacked the ground.
Pound on the ground. Yeah,
it's don't get beat on the near post. He got beat on the near post. There's only one person to blame: goalkeeper.
Yeah,
that's how it just how it is, right?
But the other, I mean. You look at Trossard, I find the celebration interesting, where he was very subdued and upset.
Yeah, showed nothing.
Showed no real emotion, and then finally put the goggles on that he traditionally does.
Is it because you think he thinks he should be starting?
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. But he's so fucking good as the 12th man.
Yeah, just come in and fucking score goals, dude.
Yeah, what do you do?
Score goals, win titles. Who cares if you're the fucking starting 11 or if you're the guy who comes on and scores the goals to win?
I mean, there's multiple people in history that have made careers out of it, no less so than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if the best 12th man ever.
Here's one I want to go back to because you mentioned the second goal that Partey scored. Partey seems to have a part in this team. Last season it was like he was playing right back and then he was hurt a lot. Do we think we finally are going to get the best we can get out of Partey, and is that going to help the team?
Honestly, I don't know, because Marino from Real Sociedad is apparently on the cards here in the next announcement coming in the next 36 to 48 hours kind of deal. They play in a very similar position. I wonder if Partey is potentially a saleable asset. They're worried about his injury record. They're worried about the potential legal troubles in Spain. There was that alleged rape, but apparently some law changed 3 days after it happened, and they can't go back and retrospect it. Like, there's some weird legal loophole where technically he's not getting in trouble for anything.
I would say he's, as far as what's on the pitch, it seems like it's the right piece. It seems like it's allowing. It's really allowing Odegaard to be up top and do his thing, and it's allowing Rice to be more advanced, which is what we've talked about before.
Rice is playing more of a number 8 now.
Rice being more box to box and more advanced for him to pick out the pass that makes the pass that is the goal, right? The one who starts the play. You need someone behind you that can hold down the fort. It seems like Partey's that guy right now.
I know, and he is for Ghana as well. I mean, he's a fantastic holding midfielder. He did it for Atletico Madrid for how fucking long?
Right, but it just never seemed to click.
I find it surprising that we would buy somebody in that exact position. Now, we don't necessarily have direct cover for him without changing the side.
Right.
So maybe this is just cover.
Yeah,
I'm not
cover
sure,
would be moving Rice back, and you don't want to move Rice back.
But maybe they really do want to put in a £100 million bid for Isaac.
Yeah.
Before the window closes. So if they can sell Partey for $50 million,
suddenly it becomes easier to do.
Right, exactly. Everybody's worried about FFP as well, except Chelsea.
Chelsea's the only one who doesn't care.
But you have, there's
and City, because City's just like, can't come get us.
There's also the potential that it just makes us deeper. I mean, I don't know. But a striker is something that's maybe still in the cards from what Arteta said in the post-match.
We'll couple that with a few other thoughts for you guys as well. Champions League is equally as important, right?
That was not a piss take, by the way, by Villa.
No.
Did you saw the memes and saw the shit that happened? So in the tunnel, walking out towards the field, they have the Champions League trophy they won in 1982 in a big glass case, right? And the tunnel had just been renovated, so it's very nice looking. There's like a little strip of either AstroTurf or whatever, so the players can walk, and then the rest of it is
black and white,
beautiful marbled.
Very, very sleek, very modern.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
But everybody's like, "Oh, it's a fucking piss take. This fucking Villa's just put their Champions League trophy to remind Arsenal what they don't have."
No.
That Champions League trophy's been in the tunnel the entire time since they've won it.
Right,
to
right.
remind the Villa players this is what you're trying to achieve again.
And if you want
it's been there for fucking
I was going to
ages.
say, and if you have won a Champions League trophy, you would be running around showing it to fucking everybody.
No, yeah.
It'd be
But
everywhere.
no,
You'd be like,
but
you
the-
see my Champions League trophy? It's right here. Let me show it to you. It's right here.
Half of Arsenal internet blew up because most of Arsenal internet wasn't alive prior to 1990.
Right.
And all they know how to do is be keyboard warriors.
Do you want to know what Villa Internet was bitching about?
What?
The lack of claret and blue in the hallway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's true.
For fuck's sake, it's fine. It was beautiful. It was modern. Y'all don't know any style. You're from Birmingham. Do I have a shot to do or
Jesus.
something?
Wow, somebody's being self-deprecating over there. I'm
No,
going to tell
I'm an
Lindsay you
American
said
fan.
Hella zesty.
So the
that. First team this season.
back to the point though is that you guys do need depth because obviously you're going for the league. You're not going to piss off the Champions League. That is just as important.
Yep.
And you all are a club that takes particularly the FA Cup very, very seriously. You're going to need depth.
Except when we lose to Nottingham Forest 2-0 in the first leg.
You're going to
Or in
need
the first round.
but
for us.
you and United have won the most, right? Like
We
so-
have won the most.
Right.
United
United's
is
number
second
2.
to us. Yes.
Yeah.
By one.
You take it very fucking seriously, right? So you're going to need depth. You're going to need depth because especially, God forbid you make it to the Champions League final, right? The league is probably being won on the last week of the season, right?
Again, yeah.
Right? And then it's the FA Cup final that you could be in. And then the very next week, it could be the Champions League final, right? Like, you need...
It's a big deal. Yeah.
So a signing like that could be a case just to, like you said, build some depth, especially people coming over from the continent. Most of them already have Champions League experience.
True. And Mourinho's a bit older as well in terms of the profile of player that Arteta's been trying to sign. Maybe he's just been around for a while and he's still 25. I'm not actually sure, to be honest. But he was at Dortmund for a few years and didn't make it there. He was at, I think, Newcastle, I heard, for a few years. And that didn't pan out. And then he's getting kind of a second, now third chance to kind of get a third shot at a major club, rather. You know.
No.
Oh, okay. For you, I got you covered. Yes, got you covered. Sorry about that.
He's trying to pour me regular, and does he not know that as of this week, it is officially pumpkin spice season? So therefore, I want to do a pumpkin spice shot of Malort with my Uggs and my infinity scarf.
Yeah, I figured, Graham, you owe us 2 shots for losing the betting last year, and you agreed that you were going to do them on this show. So I figured your first one you should do with Mel, just on principle.
Nice.
And what did you do to yours, by the way?
So I told you
There we go.
last
That's the
week.
pumpkin spice.
I told you last week I saw that dumpster fire, New Orleans dumpster fire shot that the owner of Malort invented, being at Tales of the Cocktail, I guess. This is hot sauce, should be Crystal hot sauce from Louisiana, and Malort. I have chosen to do a Maryland dumpster fire and use the Old Bay hot sauce
Fabulous.
there with Malort. So, a little nervous about this one.
So-
Old Bay.
So, Mel,
Old Bay. Old Bay.
thoughts on the loss? I mean,
What you gonna do?
yeah.
I mean, Trossard's goal was lucky
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
right? They had the
Yeah.
deflection in there with the pass and the kind of little coming together, and then it just popped over to him, and he's the best 12th man in the league.
Honestly, Watkins puts that header a foot to the left, and maybe the momentum of the game goes a different direction.
Watkins in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
puts
because the
that-
whole ground explodes. Yeah, absolutely right.
Watkins in
No,
the
seriously,
first...
let everybody just goes and Arsenal deflate a bit. I mean, you're 100% right.
Yeah, like you just.
Watkins puts in that sitter right after.
Well,
Emi
there's the other
Martinez
one. Yep.
makes the big save at the one end,
Yep.
and he misses a sitter 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
Completely different game.
Right, and then Arsenal's heads hang and go, fuck again.
I told
You know.
I told Houston after y'all scored, I said it is either going to be a 1-1 draw or it's going to be 2-0.
Yep.
we're either going to rally and tie it up, or we're
Not,
fucked.
yeah.
We just lost
All right,
it.
do your shots, kids.
Up the Villa.
COYG, baby.
It tastes like fall, bonfires, and bad decisions. Blech.
How
I
you feel
figured
about
out how to make Malort worse. That's terrible, man.
We had some barn burners with a ton of goals and a couple of hat tricks. Manchester City 4, Ipswich 1, Tottenham 4, Everton 0, Chelsea 6, Wolverhampton 2. So Ipswich scored. It was the new signing, the Samakis, the kid from Coventry City. It was good to see him get a goal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then City scored 3 fucking goals in 4 fucking minutes. Fuck you.
Yeah, so you know, the Ipswich counterattack was excellent.
Yeah.
Right? It was,
And this is what you're going to expect them to do.
but it was capped off with a little bit of fortune, you have to remember. Ederson, I don't know what he's doing, but he gets nutmegged for the... Now, there was a bit of a deflection, obviously.
Right, of course.
But then to not be able to catch up to that little dribbler it just... I mean, it's the stuff of dreams for Ipswich, right? It doesn't matter how it gets to the back of the net, but you did it. You did it at the home of the champions, and you did it after, 13 minutes or whatever it was? I mean,
Right.
it was 11 minutes, whatever the time was.
22 years after making it back, and your
Yeah.
first 2 games are Liverpool and City, and you open the scoring at the
At
Etihad.
City, yeah, it's fucking...
Fuck yeah.
I mean, it's awesome.
That was nice.
Yeah, until
For
it wasn't.
4 fucking minutes, it was
Yeah.
nice.
And then Erling Haaland did his thing. I mean, this was a brutal Premier League awakening because this is what top drawer players can do to you, right? This is just the absolute ruthlessness of this.
And, well,
The hot sauce got me, Mel.
and De Bruyne with his goal off of a mistake from Muric. There we go.
Another
He's gonna-
Muric issue.
He's going to make some
Yeah.
mistakes.
Well,
But
he made a
here's-
second mistake in
Here's
this
the
game
one
as
for
well.
you, for real quick is, I'm not so sure that was a fucking penalty.
That was a pen.
I mean, but the call on the field was not a pen, and they felt that it was so clear and obvious that it had to go be looked at. If we're living in this world where we're only going when it has to be done.
Well, I think it was. I think the referee's decision not to give it was more. This is conjecture based on my opinion of the referee's positioning when it happened.
Fair enough.
Whether or not it was in the box is what I think the thing is. And even if it's clear and obvious, if it's not clear and obvious, whatever, I think referees have now been trained through VAR to not make a decision because VAR will cover it up.
Yeah.
And I think this was more of a symptom of that. I think it definitely was a penalty. He definitely got Savinho on his leg, kind of ankle area. And Savinho went down. I mean,
later in the
they're
match,
both at speed.
Later in the match,
That should have been a pen.
Delap was absolutely hit, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to continue to say this. The patch on the shirt makes the decision for the VAR. They looked at it when it was City. They didn't look at it when it was Ipswich.
right. I think
And
it was absolute. I think that was a pen also. I think
and
he pushed him down.
Both of them were damn near close to the same foul. Questionable, right? Iffy, maybe you took a harder look at it, but one you took a harder look at, the other one you didn't.
They should be sending
It
the
is-
referee to the monitor for
It
that.
is
I
a
agree.
coincidence that it was City that got that call. I say it's not. I say it's absolutely not. And I say it's going to be the shield they hide behind this entire season as they give calls to bigger clubs. I think that this is going to happen, and it's going to happen a lot. Okay? Yes, Mel.
Oh, we got a new person in the chat, Moss Sports World, that brought up that the VAR call was brutal to Ipswich Town and killed the momentum, and then they just cheats roll off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, after that, it was just the floodgates opened, and that's you learn very quickly as a club, Ipswich. It's just like,
fuck.
You
Well, that's what
know?
I'm saying. That brutal. I mean, that's what the Premier Leagues do to you. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what pretty much everyone except Southampton and Fulham are going to be capable of.
And in the
'Cause neither
Championship-
one of them can score goals to save their lives, really.
I mean, Everton can't score any goals. We haven't
Oh,
scored
yeah,
one
you
yet.
haven't scored one yet.
Not
That's
even
right.
one
The
yet,
only
yeah.
team other than Southampton who has
Yet to score a goal.
yet to score a goal.
Yeah, but they've only given up 2. We've given up 7.
Yeah.
Not so good.
No.
We'll get to that in a moment. But from there, that was we talked about Ipswich on the EFL show from last season, how they were very much kind of like these heroic great escape artists at the end, always finding a way to get a point or 3. You ain't gonna get that in this league.
No,
and
you're
that
not.
right there is a prime example of
Unless you're playing Manchester United.
right. Yeah, hell then yeah. Well, that's
There's always a chance. Just, hey, boys, bomb on.
do.
Bomb on.
But Holland, another fucking hat trick.
His 7th. Did you see one of his teammates wrote on the match ball, "I'm sick of signing these fucking things," or something like that?
Yeah. It is clear that City is ready to fucking go. We talked about it last week. It's this mentality of they're already in mid-season form. They're already just going.
Yeah.
They're like at 100% already.
Well, the
And
other
they're doing
thing
it
too.
without Rodri, which
The
is
other thing, this
amazing.
could have been worse as well.
Oh, God, yeah.
Muric made a phenomenal save later on to give him credit after 2 errors. Made a phenomenal save on a Holland header later on in the game. And Rico Lewis and KDB absolutely slammed balls off the crossbar in this game as well. So this could have been well worse.
Oh, absolutely.
Well worse.
Big Ange had a talk with Spurs because they came out firing against Everton.
Did you hear that this on X was being billed as the gruff voice derby?
Oh, because the two of them both have gruff
They
voices.
both have kind of gruff, gravelly voices,
I'll give you that one.
which I think is pretty funny. They'll literally make up anything to have a story, won't they?
Yeah, oh yeah. But the simple fact was, this was the team they needed to be against Leicester.
Yes.
They were ruthless. They went after Everton. Everton is a wounded animal. It says something when Mason Holgate gets benched and doesn't start for a 19-year-old kid making his Premier League debut, which,
Yeah.
by the way, he held good account of himself for what it was,
Yeah, but I can't help but feel like Everton so far, especially with the Van der Ven goal, as we saw with the Welbeck goal in week 1, is y'all
Van
are
der Ven assist. But
y'all
yes.
are like the worst club bouncer that's ever existed, and you just got the velvet rope open, and apparently you think the entire line is 22-year-old bad bitches in outfits.
Yeah, I mean, that fourth
Right down the middle. It's
Yeah.
fine. Just come in. No cover charge.
That fourth
like,
goal-
they're not even making him work for
that
it.
fourth goal was 18-18. Van der Ven went
That's what I'm
right
saying.
down the middle of the
Yeah.
field, and no one you're losing 3-0. Somebody take a yellow. Somebody
That's
put
what I'm
that some
saying.
bitch
That
on his
made me
ass.
more mad than anything.
Somebody put that some bitch on his ass.
You know what? I'm going on Fight Mob right now to look at it because I don't think y'all got a card. Well, Ashley Young wasn't on the field, so you
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
didn't.
I think we got a couple.
Let's see. We'll find out just
so,
a moment.
anywho,
Go ahead. You do your thing.
The second goal was a Pickford mistake. It was a rare mistake from him. I know some of the fans not
Zero
a single.
cards.
Wow, that's disappointing from
Zero
Everton.
cards.
You got to get a card.
A Sean Deitch
Yeah.
team.
You got to get a yellow.
Coach team.
Somebody need to grab that boy by the back of his shirt and pull him down on the ground and take
What's
that yellow.
Tark doing?
Tark,
JB must think Tark found Jesus.
I think Tark.
Stop being violent.
I think Tark probably shouldn't have played. He somehow magically passed fitness in the morning,
Right.
the day of the game. I think it was because they went, "Fuck, we ain't got nobody."
Well, how far away is Branthwaite?
I don't know. I honestly
Damn.
don't know. They need him soon.
You need him back.
Need him soon.
Yep.
I mean, him and
He was your top goal scorer from last season as well, wasn't he?
Garn. He only had 2.
That's what I'm saying.
Ducory was. Garner getting back would be good because then that actually gives us a right-footed person on set pieces that can actually do a job.
Yeah.
Right? We currently don't have that at all. All we have is Dwight McNeil with his left foot. That's really it as far as set piece.
Jack
people go.
Harrison, right?
Not a very good set piece person.
Okay.
Gardner's better. And also, the other big thing, Dyche finally brought in the new players, right? So, Dye and Lindstrom both played in the second half. And when they came in for at least a few minutes, Everton showed something.
Who was that kid that you got from Villa when you sold Onana to Villa?
That's Ibrahim, the T.I.
Oh, that's Ibrahim. Okay, yeah.
It's
All
T.I.
right. I thought he had a decent enough game, but the two of them, Idrissa Gana Gay's a bit older.
Right.
Can't get around as much. I think he'll need to sit more as an anchor than he even has done in the past and just read the game and let this younger kid do a lot of the running for him.
Well, here's the thing. That younger kid isn't going to be playing as much. Once we've got Garner healthy, it'll be Garner and Decore.
Well, yeah, fair.
And what has to happen, and this is a problem with the Dyche run team, right? He will be so stubborn about something, right? Like at the start of last season, for the first 4 games, he was stubborn about having Michael Keane play. The minute he put in Branthwaite, we started winning games, right? Made a huge difference. He is very stubborn right now about playing Decore in the advanced role behind Calvert-Lewin. We signed Njai for the very reason of being the guy behind the fucking striker, right? The one who can create. That's not Decore's role. Decore is a box-to-box holding guy. That's what he does best. Move him back, and then you can have Gardner and Decore, and you can give Ghana some fucking rest, right?
No, I got a question. I got 2 questions. The first question is, what's happening with DCL? Final year of the contract. He's injured again.
No, not hurt.
He's not?
No, he's not hurt.
Well, he's not signing a new deal.
Right.
And
Well, because he wants to be on 150 to 175 a week, and Everton isn't going to pay him that.
well,
They
Everton
offered
doesn't have that.
I believe Everton offered him 90.
Right. And he
Which-
still couldn't do it.
Right, and he still won't sign it. So I would not be surprised if he is gone before the end of the week. I think there could be, somebody like a you that could just go, you know what? He's a backup for cup matches. It's risk return. We'll buy him for $15 million. We ain't going to give him the contract he wants, and he'll either do a job for us and get us some goals when we need them, but otherwise, fuck it. Like who cares? Like, go ahead and just take a flyer because you need depth at striker. And if you can't get Isaac,
Well, Gabriel Jesus is hurt again.
Right.
But if we're going to do that, we're paying 45 for Ivan Toney.
Right. So, but that's what I'm getting at is that I feel like Calvert-Lewin wants to, the whole reason why the whole thing fell through with Newcastle is because he couldn't agree to terms with Newcastle because he also went to them when, I want to get paid 150 to 175. And Newcastle said no.
No, because your injury record is garbage.
Right. 3 years ago, you scored 20 goals. And since then, you've been hurt like crazy.
Yep.
So, no. We see the raw talent you have. We see how well you play with back to goal. There's a lot of
But you're going to have to prove to us first. Yeah.
Right. Nobody is going to give him that
No,
contract.
of course not.
And that's what he has to realize.
He's got somebody in his ear blowing his head up.
Yeah. So I think he's gone before the end of the week. And I think Beto is probably going to be the guy moving forward.
The second question I have. Oh, sorry.
Does Ivan Toney only have 1 year left too?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
But he's better, so he would still cost $45 million.
And his problem is he likes a bet. It's not that he gets injured.
Do you see the thing going around that says his initials are actually I bet? Ivan Benjamin Elijah Toney.
There you go. I
is
bet.
his full name. I bet.
All right.
Fuck off.
So I want to keep this. Going.
I don't know. That was from Wikipedia, so I don't know if it's real.
Right.
But I'm sticking with it. It's funny.
I want to.
It's a good joke.
I want to keep this going and get on to the next game.
Well, my second question is the way this has been going, man. We've seen time and time again with teams, and I told you I was going to press you on this pre-show.
Yeah.
We've seen time and time again with teams flirting with relegation year after year after year. When's it going to give? Are they going to be fine, or are they going to? Is this the year
This
they're
team's
going
going
down?
to be absolutely fine. They have actually improved. They're missing major pieces right now.
I would love to agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you did the second half of last season, basically from the points deduction,
Mm-hmm.
till the end of the season. You got the wins you needed. You did what you had to do. It took a little bit longer than you'd hoped, but everything seemed a lot more comfortable. To turn around and then start the season this way seems like a regression, and I'm worried for you.
We haven't won a game in August in the last 5 years.
All right.
Never. I'm not worried yet. I'm not worried at all yet. But I will say, as
The one season Harry Kane scored in August, he didn't finish top scorer.
heard, it's fucking horrible. And to the Everton supporters that decided to take out of their busy day and go to the train station to yell obscenities at Neil Mopay for some reason.
Yeah, he's
Like-
going to fuck off in 6 hours. He's
Right.
done.
Just yelling at the players. Like, at the end of the day, they are professional. They are trying. Right? They are like.
Did Neil Mopo play in this game?
No, he did not.
What are you yelling at him for?
Just because he's their scapegoat. It's, you know how it is with English fans. They're sensible and logical.
I'm just saying, your entire rant here was essentially incoherent. So, Mel, fuck you. That
Very
makes
good.
total sense.
I gave you barrel age this time there, stud. So
Thank
for
you,
your
I saw
second
that.
shot, I figure
I had to
you're
do
going
it
to do
with you
your
guys.
shots with
Yeah.
us.
Nice.
Oh, my God. That tastes like Saturday night. Finally. What a fucking bonkers match with Chelsea and fucking Wolverhampton, dude.
Yeah. There it goes.
Been a while since you've done them, huh?
It has been. We only lost 2 games last season.
Yeah.
It was absolutely insane, this game. And the worst part is it honestly could have finished 8-6.
Yeah.
Both teams had loads of chances.
Oh, God, yeah.
There was some ruthlessness that wasn't taken despite Chelsea scoring 6. They still had a couple of opportunities. They could have put more away. And the only people disappointed by that are Southampton fans.
What is...
Because they didn't score 9.
Why?
Get it, Kenny?
What was...
Kenny?
Yeah.
Get
I'm
it?
here.
I'm looking right down the camera, buddy.
What the fuck was Nick Jackson's deal? After scoring a goal and then just decides, Cunha, I'm going to fight you.
I don't know, dude.
No. And then...
He got in a fight with John Obi Mikel on Twitter. Did you hear this? Or Instagram or something. John Obi Mikel was like, hey, great. Do something better. Yeah, he criticized him in recent weeks. He was like, find this consistency, da-da-da-da. And then apparently he DM'd him and was like, stop talking shit.
What I also find funny
like,
is
what?
that
Why are
because
you having a go at him?
because he scored the goal and started talking shit, you knew who was going to score for Wolves. You knew Cunha was going to score.
Yeah.
And you know it's at the Molineux. Of course he's going to fucking over-celebrate. And then you're going to, like, walk up to him as he's over-celebrating and try to start shit with him. It's like, dude, where are you about to fucking match?
Right, just shut up.
what
Yeah,
the
just
fuck?
focus on what you're doing.
You're in their building. You've just decided to pick a fight with their best player.
Yeah, but
their best player scored. You don't expect him to fucking show you up. Like,
It all started
it's gonna
before.
happen.
It all started before the game because you saw what Madueke put on Instagram, right? He just wrote, "Where am I? This place is shit," and then tagged the town of Wolverhampton.
I will say
He did apologize for it later, and he seemed sincere in his apology, but
Here's
he just slagged off the whole town.
here's the thing that I found interesting, and obviously, Chelsea goes up 2-1 on a Cole Palmer goal. Cheeky play, finds Saw a little too far out, does that little dink.
But it was a fantastic move
Oh, yeah.
from Chelsea to
Yeah.
get to that point in general. But the general awareness and wherewithal, he was running to the left of goal on a diagonal. He had a defender kind of with him, gave him a little too much space, but then hooked him with the outside of his right foot, running. The goal's on his right side. There was a brilliant measurement of where that ball needed to be and vision to see Sa in the position he was in.
Wolves tied it up, and João Felix scores later on. That doesn't matter. What matters, how does this one, if I'm Gary O'Neill, I'm pissed at my team. How does Madueke score the same 3 goals off the same 3 Cole Palmer passes? Like, legitimately, all 3 of those goals
Were the
with the
carbon
same
copies of
fucking
themselves?
thing.
Yeah.
And they all happened right in a row. It's almost like, I mean, whoever's playing left back, do you want to defend the guy? Would you like to defend? You should probably defend.
This one we should say was more than triple of City's 3 goals in a row.
Right.
This was, instead of 4 minutes, it's 14 minutes it took for this to happen. What I'd really be pissed off about is this game was tied 2-2 at halftime. It was all to play for. It was all in the balance. My bet was still alive at that point.
Right.
I had a Wolves or a draw
Right.
because I didn't think Chelsea'd figure it out.
And not in that building. They lose.
No,
in that building, lately.
they haven't won there. I think in 5 years or something ridiculous.
Exactly.
But he, if I was Gary O'Neill, I would have done an old like Sir Alex throwing boots at people, in the Manchester United dressing room from back in the day, because I just spoke to you for 14 fucking minutes about the plan, and you walk out and within 58 seconds or whatever it was,
Yeah.
you allow them to score a fucking goal when it's essentially a brand new game. It's 2-2. You've survived these 2 instances. Right? You've drugged them back. Our best players off the mark for the season. We're flying. The crowd's behind us.
The new striker we signed is on the mark.
It's the number 1 overall pick. He scored a goal for Sam's fantasy.
Hey, don't
Wait,
take away.
excuse
I'm
me.
going to talk about that on injury time. my
Sorry, I mean Wolves.
friend. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure we're really worried about you. But the point is, you have everything to play for. You're normally a very organized side. I really worry that Salem Max Kilman really fucked the defense up here.
We talked
Potentially.
about last year on the EFL show. There was a League 2 game where Grimsby Town they ended up ultimately losing 5-4, but they had all 4 of their goals were by the same outside midfielder who put in the same long cross. And we said that day when we talked about that game, that's the kind of shit that happens in League 2. That never happens in the Premier League. It just happened in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like, how do you...
that's fair, yeah.
The third time Cole Palmer's coming, why isn't his legs out from underneath him? Right? Like, I mean, I get it that all 3 of the balls to Madueke in the box. Madueke in the box, you're not going to foul, right? But at some point, he just, he did the same thing 3 times in a row, and they let him.
But that's the problem. He had so much space.
Yeah.
He had so much space and time.
Yeah.
There wasn't even anyone close to him to clean him out.
I mean, it was fucking easy.
Yep.
It was easy. And then the final thought is within all of this, right? We say all of this, we still aren't any closer to figuring out what the fuck Chelsea is, right?
No, because apparently they're still in for Jadon Sancho.
Rounding out the rest of the league, and so that happened. Brighton 2, Manchester 1, West Ham 2, Palace 0, Fulham 2, Leicester 1, Forest 1, Southampton 0, Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 1, Liverpool 2, Brentford 0.
Making my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself.
And we are done talking about the Manchester United Brighton game. Well, I'm just joking, but yeah, I mean, that pretty much explains it.
New season, same United. It seems, right? I mean, from the ridiculous nature of the marking for the winner, which is the worst mistake of the entire game.
Right.
It would seem.
Yao Pendro left wide the fuck open. See, I'm calling him by his Christian name, Pendro. Not
Pendro,
Pedro.
that's right.
Just
damn
for you.
straight. But I mean, the cross. The left back was the furthest right defender in that situation. It was weird.
The first goal was too easy. The first goal was
the
way too
marking for
fucking
the
easy.
first goal wasn't great. You see Harry Maguire run away from the middle, which he's a center back. Center and middle are
the same
synonyms.
Yeah, they're kind of the same thing.
And he points back towards him, and then misses the block on the cross because he didn't ever make it close enough to the person crossing the ball. I think it was Matoma.
I always love the point. The minute there's
Harry
point,
Maguire points. There's an Instagram account for it.
Just in general, any defender points the minute they point. That is where the goal is happening. Right there, you just pointed to where the goal is going to happen.
Just take the responsibility.
That's where your
you
ass
prick.
should have been.
Exactly. Just take the responsibility.
But
so that happens. But the middle of the game, United dragged themselves back into it. They think they've scored twice. They think they've turned the game on its head.
That's what I was about to get to.
It's also absolutely pissing it fucking down with rain.
Yep.
There couldn't have been any more of a home game for United in that sense because they play in Manchester.
Right, precisely.
Which just pisses it down constantly.
Right.
But they're on the
South Coast. It's supposed to be lovely.
It's supposed to be nice out, right? With the kind of pseudo sand and rock beach, kind of blended. They can't. It was I can't believe it's schoolboy defending. Both goals are really. The second one is much more glaring, but the first one, it's just I can't tell you how many times we've played at various levels from kids soccer up to high school. Up to I played in college, and then our high level adult league that we played in for ages. The pointing, the lack of responsibility, the just dumpster fire.
For me, with both of these clubs, I feel like we walked into this saying we're going to get some questions answered. I feel like we got no questions answered for both of them, right? Because I'm not going to really know what I really think of Brighton until they play you this next week,
right?
And United. Honestly, until Rashford's off the pitch and Højlund's playing full time and is healthy again, I don't know what to fucking expect from them either. And if they don't fix their defense now, they're going to lose a lot of games 4-3.
Yeah, I could see that. The other thing is I saw that Xerxes offside goal.
Mm-hmm.
He had about, I don't know, a second and a half to 2 seconds, which in sports time is fucking ages, to plant one of his feet and stop. Mm-hmm. And I heard every pundit under the sun going, that's just unlucky. He didn't try to get into that. He was sliding.
Yeah.
And his knee ended up about where his head was while he was sliding. So he made a movement to go towards that ball.
Yeah.
That ball was on frame. He doesn't touch it. It counts.
Yeah, it's a goal.
From Garnacho.
It's a goal. Absolutely a goal.
He absolutely deliberately decided to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was beyond the ball when it was kicked, and that becomes the new offside line for those of you that don't know. When you're behind the defense.
Absolutely.
The ball is offsides. And he ran beyond it, I guess due to inexperience, slid about, 9 yards, and then deliberately made a motion to pick his knee up off the turf and touch that ball in the back of the net. I know the ball would have went in anyway, but offside is cut and dry.
Yeah.
We talk about these toenails that make us so mad. Ultimately, we can't be mad at the toenails because the toenails are real.
Right.
Offside is offside.
Right.
He fucking touched the ball before it went in the back of the net.
Yeah. Yeah.
From an offside position.
Absolutely.
That goal is offside.
And also just, again, Manchester United doing it to themselves.
5 years in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
Brighton have beaten Manchester United.
Yep. Absolutely.
5 years in a row.
Keeping it rolling. Irons get a very gutsy road win because, frankly, neither one of their goals were particularly impressive. They were kind of ping-pongy all over the place kind of goals, but...
Yeah, the most impressive thing that happened was Thomas Souček and Jared Bowen saving that ball boy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
After, I think,
the
Souček's
board
goal.
fell on him, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the fans pushed the board over.
Yeah.
It landed on him, and then the fans fell on the board.
Yeah.
They did have the West Ham staff tend to him.
Good.
But they also made sure Jared Bowen, went to the old footballer's perfect thing and gave him his shirt afterwards. This was at Selhurst Park.
Yeah. He's a...
Ball boy's probably a Palace supporter.
Yeah.
So great. Presumably he's English.
Mm-hmm.
So at least he got a player shirt, an English player shirt. Jared Bowen did play at the Euros, obviously. So he should somewhat be a fan of him at least.
Joachim Andersen moves on to Fulham.
He
That
did
was a
move.
surprise move.
We haven't done the transfer recap yet, obviously, so I didn't know that. I wrote in here, Anderson was out, not sure why he wasn't listed on the injury list.
Yeah, he got moved
because I
to
hadn't
Fulham.
heard that news.
And
did Tim Ream move on from Fulham?
He moved back to to Charlotte. So yeah.
So here you go. That's an upgrade for Fulham. That pans out well, and I may change what I say about them here in a few minutes.
And Mark Gay is still apparently very much on the block, and you start to wonder. I mean, Chris Richards has shown that he can be a center back and a very effective one in the Premier League. But who's going to fucking be next to him?
It looks like Ali Glasner's having the rug pulled out from under him.
Yeah.
A bit.
Yeah.
Part of Palace's draw has been the defense over the last few years, right? How good they are at stopping goals from happening, and then letting Eze, Olise, and Mateta figure it out. But they've moved on Jordan Ayew, right, who contributed from time to time, right?
Ayu's still there.
Jordan Ayew got sold.
No, you're right. Sorry, he did
That
get
I
sold.
saw.
Yeah, he just got
He's
sold.
Leicester.
He just got sold. Yes,
Maybe.
yes.
But so you don't have this kind of very rare, odd talismanic figure in Ayew because he always seems to make something happen when Palace need it most. You're also moving on 2 out of the back 3 potentially to the tune of a shit ton of money. I mean,
but is there enough time to buy anybody in their place
and not spend fucking all of it?
Yeah,
and then next
because you already got a ton from Elise as well.
Next to Gahey, what's his name? Riyadh, I thought was shaky as fuck in this game. You sung his praises last week a bit. I don't really remember him from last season, to be honest with you.
No,
Maybe that's just because
he's a new signing.
Okay, I thought you said it was him that was decent last year.
Richards, who was decent.
it was Richard.
Yeah, Richards, who was decent last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember because Joachim Anderson did so much of the cleaning up there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's next for Palace, to be honest with you. Mateta didn't look particularly engaged in this game. Olise's gone. It looks like they're falling exactly back into type where Eze is now Zaha reincarnated. If this player can't do it, we won't be able to figure it out. And if that's the case, Palace are worried about being fucked.
Yeah, I would very much agree. And this was a team that, looking at them on paper to start the year, you're like, you know what? They keep all the pieces. They could be a top 10 team. No. I think Joachim Anderson is a bad. I mean, if you were gonna sell
cue
Mark
the
Gay,
fire sale.
why did you sell him? Just why did you sell him?
Exactly. Well, maybe they're not gonna. I mean, that's entirely possible. They've rebuffed 4 Newcastle offers.
Right.
But Newcastle came back with a 5th. And how long can you resist that sweet, sweet Saudi coin, baby?
And also, at some point, too, Liverpool may come into him, too, is what I'm hearing also.
Oh, really?
And they haven't spent any money yet.
Well, I heard they're also thinking about selling Joe Gomez, is the last rumor I heard about him.
enough.
So they need cover at center back anyway.
Speaking of Fulham, ESR, Emil Smith-Rowe, gets his first goal for Fulham. This game was 2-1. This game was not a 2-1 score line.
No, Fulham dominated this match. Yeah.
Dominated this match. And I had told you on Injury Time, I said Fulham was going to dominate this match. In fact, I don't even feel like Leicester deserved the goal they got. I thought Vardy was in the way of the keeper. I felt he was. Because he was just right.
Yeah.
He was in front of him, a little bit to his left, but he was enough in front of him that he's a distraction.
Now, I'm gonna have you have some compassion here. The only goals we've ever seen About Face score are in his own net. And he did an About Face and scored in the right net for a change. Fuck where Jamie Vardy was. Good for that guy. I can't wait for the shortest redemption arc in history as next week he concedes another own goal brace because I hate his fucking face.
Heard. Very good. Your face. I see what you were doing there. Well done.
Thank you very much.
That's a well-written joke,
That's
sir.
very full circle there.
Yeah, well done. Mel, you had something to say?
Well, everyone in the chats was talking about how Smith Rowe is a big deal. Moss Sports World was talking about Fulham looking solid, good signings like Anderson and others.
I will take this opportunity, since we're talking about signings for Fulham, to say you're welcome to the Fulham faithful because it was 2 former Arsenal lads that got you this win.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yep.
You're welcome.
I would also say in that regards too, now playing Traore full time, like we know Traore can be hit or miss, right? But we do know 2 things about Traore. He loves baby oil on his arms. And he's fast as shit.
He's fast as fuck.
So
and strong as a tank. We know 3 things about Adama
you
Traore.
have that guy running up and down a sideline. It doesn't necessarily matter if he's doing anything productive or not. You have to pay attention.
You have to think
that.
about it. Yeah.
Which then suddenly really opens up the game
But
for
there was
Iwobi and Smith Rowe. And both of those goals he scored were from the exact same side, the exact same way.
Well, Traore got the assist.
Yeah.
For Smith Rowe's goal. He sorted his feet out to keep the ball away from. I can't remember who the Leicester midfielder was he was up against at that moment, and sprayed the ball out well to Smith Rowe. Now, he drove in. Iwobi's run was great. That bought him an extra 1.5 yards of space as he entered the box. And what a finish. from Emil Smith Rowe, honestly. But Traore, you're absolutely right. It's something you have to think about. You have to pay attention to. It stops that opposing team's left back from pushing forward too much. But he's also just super strong. I mean, just look how built he is, right? There's, he does from time to time. I think it goes a little bit underrated how much he's able to shrug tackles off while he's in free flight.
Right.
The time you're most unbalanced, and he's able to hold people off because of his strength. Yeah. He had a deft little pass last week that Kearney crossed, and it couldn't be finished. He had a couple of very good passes in this game. He doesn't necessarily have to score goals.
Traore. Do what he does. That makes people have to pay attention to him.
Occupy defenders and find a few assists. Yeah. And he had a couple of very good passages to play over the last couple of weeks.
You go out there and you fly past the left back, right? Or I'm sorry, on that side, it would be the left back. Flying past the left back then makes the left central defender have to step out to you, which now means there's
create
channels.
Space. Yep,
there's lanes.
Exactly
That's
right.
what you need to do, right?
100%.
Now, for me, for the Foxes, are you seeing what I kind of told you I already saw? I'm not convinced on them.
I'm worried.
I'm not convinced at all. Their draw against Spurs was more an indictment on Spurs than it was credit to Leicester for me.
Yeah, but I obviously, bought into the Leicester
Jamie
side.
Fucking Vardy.
But also, I hate Tottenham.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair.
This is a biased show, remember? Yes. But no, Leicester did not deserve the draw necessarily with Tottenham. I mean, you got the result. Do you deserve it? Yeah, I guess you.
And they weren't even close in this match. They weren't even close. In the first,
Fulham dominated this game.
I was looking at the stats because Leicester's goalkeeper is my backup, right, on fantasy. He already had 4 fucking saves in the first 10 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
That says something.
Oh, big time. Right. The other thing I would say here, I think Fulham will eventually be fine, right? Show a bit more consistency, a bit more assuredness about themselves following the departure of João Palhinha. Obviously, the rest of the team and their quality matters, but João Palhinha is the same to Fulham as Rodri is to City.
Yeah.
When he was there, Fulham had an exponentially better chance of getting a result, right? I think as these little kind of... There's still things we could pick out about Fulham.
Yeah. That's fine.
In this game that were less than stellar.
I still think they're going to be fine. I think they've improved their front four.
The more results they eke out like this, even, right, where they had a great performance, dominated the game, could have scored more goals, but, that's fine. The more things that they do to up the confidence of that midfield as a whole, the better off they'll be. And the faster they can do it, the better. If they get on a bad run of 4, 5, 6 results, you could see the midfield and the defense kind of capitulating, falling into same old Fulham territory.
I feel like their defense has gotten younger and stronger. And
well, they have now, So it's how fast does Joachim Anderson fit into that?
I think how fast
does a lot of those things happen? Yeah,
because he's played for a couple of different teams now. He wasn't just only at. He was on loan before going to Palace as well in the Prem. So
is that another points deduction? You had a scarf fall.
Yeah, probably. So I didn't realize I had a scarf fall. Yeah, points deduction.
I saw it. Yeah, point.
Everton loses 6 points. For Forest, this was a much needed early win to the season. Yeah, very needed.
Definitely. I mean, it's not hard to do when Southampton have 65% of the ball.
It's just insane.
And offer you an XG of 0.16.
Yeah, nothing.
They had 5 shots, only one of which was on target. Let's see. Forest were dangerous, but they weren't clinical. They had 23 total shots, 8 of those on target. They did, however, create 6 quote-unquote big chances, according to FOTMob, the popular app with stats.
That was my big giant cast bumping into a...
Yeah, threw me off for a second.
Sorry.
And then the Saints, according to FOTMob, created no big chances at all. None. Not a single one. They look better as a team for the Premier League than a couple of seasons ago, but I have the same concern for Southampton we had that season. Where are the fucking goals coming from?
Agreed.
Where are they going to score? And Crystal Palace, actually, taking it back for us a couple of minutes ago, are very close within the next 24 to 36 hours of announcing officially Eddie Nketiah joining.
Yeah.
Why isn't Southampton jumping on Eddie Nketiah? They got him for 29 million plus 5 in add-ons.
Precisely.
34 million pounds, and last season scored 14 goals for Arsenal.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
play him.
What are you doing? Buy him. Fucking try. Put a bid in. We want 35. You're a newly promoted club. Maybe put in a bid for 45 and see if we accept it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I do not see where the goals are going to come from. I really don't with this team, and that's where I worry. Chris Wood will always bag you 11 to 15, right? Iwon Yi has shown he'll bag you between 9 and 12 over the last couple of seasons. So you have players that can score some goals in Forest's team. They sort their defense out, and Sells had to make a couple of saves. Well, one save, obviously. There's only one shot on target, but stopped a cross or two, to be fair to him. But Forest didn't really have to do much defense, like in the final third defensively in this game. And I really worry about that from Southampton.
If Forest wants to stay up, this is exactly the game they have to win. They want it. That's really what it comes down to.
And if Southampton want to stay up, it's the same principle, and they didn't.
But they won't. I don't think they will.
Neither do I. I put them in my bottom 3 as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I've started doing my top 20. My top 20. There's only 20 Mel in the whole league. Yeah.
Really, this next one, there's really only one thing to talk about. It was nice to see Gordon score for Newcastle, but let's face it, it's about the fucking handball at the end of the game. That was by no means a fucking handball.
Also, the clothesline. There's 2 VAR decisions here. Joe Linton should have been sent off.
Don't disagree with that.
Even in the post-match, Eddie Howe said something like, yeah, you can't really go for the head, can you? That's not great.
Right.
The post-match from Eddie Howe was the shortest I've seen in a long time because it seemed, the feeling was, as long as we're on the premises, they may be able to change their minds.
Right.
So let's get on a fucking bus as fast as we can
the fuck out
and
of
get
here.
out of the parking lot.
Because I would like everybody to know that right here on the arm, between the jersey and the folding of the elbow with skin, was considered not a handball by Rodri. We remember that, right? The arm up in the air, swung his arm, hit in that area, not considered a handball.
Vaguely remember this. This is against y'all.
Yeah, this
Do
was
a
the one.
lot of scorekeeping over there, don't you?
I mean, honestly, I don't mind that they didn't call it because then that also that took the league away from Liverpool. That was the year they lost it by a point.
Okay.
Had over 100 points less. So not the end of the world.
Now he's giving examples from previous years.
But
now he's holding grudges.
But again, that was considered not a handball. Looked at by VAR, not a handball. This hit his shoulder.
Oh, you could clearly see it at the shoulder.
It only hit his jersey. And if anything, if it hit anyone's arm, it hit Dan Burns' arm.
Yeah.
That's who it fucking hit.
Well, no,
that was a goal.
I don't think it did.
100% of the time.
I don't think it did hit Dan Burns at all because even Areola said it in the post match about the show. Look how the bullet rifles off his arm.
Yeah.
Can that happen? On the side of your arm, or does it hit dead and kind of dribble down? This hit his shoulder. It hit a bone. That's flying in the back of the net. It did fly in the back of the net. The goal should have stood.
Absolutely.
But Newcastle should have been down to 10 men before that. It didn't matter. Yeah. Joe Linton clotheslined the fuck out of somebody right in the head. Yeah. The VAR was taking a nap during this game, it seems. And it's a fucking travesty. It really is. It really is.
And again,
the goal was given, and there is not clear and obvious evidence.
Exactly what I was about to say. There is not clear and obvious evidence. And not even that, they just flat out told him, no, it's a handball. They didn't even have him go to the monitor to fucking look. Like, Stockley Road just buzzed him on his fucking headset and went, no, mate, that's a handball. No, it fucking is not. No. It's not.
Well, they did. They deemed it a factual thing. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to look at this. We can tell.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. There's
That
nothing clear
what
and
they
obvious.
were saying happened.
What was clear and obvious in it to me is that it hit his,
I watched
hit his
it.
shoulder. It hit his shoulder. It
Yeah,
hit
I watched
nothing
it.
but jersey.
And at that point, I wasn't drinking, so
And-
I don't know.
And we have said that hitting the jersey, we've even said to the sleeve arm that if it hits the jersey, it's not a handball. We have had this discussion has been made. Precedence has been set. It wasn't a fucking handball.
There's heat maps on IFAB's website. You see
Yeah.
this? Diagrams.
No.
Looks like a guy with pain, like an aspirin commercial.
Got it.
It says green, right?
Okay.
No handball.
Red handball.
Red handball.
Yeah. And it was right
Well, on FOTMob's website, it says from here down.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not where it hit him.
Yeah. No.
Didn't hit him there.
Hit him in the fucking shoulder.
Hit him in the shoulder.
Absolutely hit him in the shoulder. Exactly what you want if you're the Reds. Another tidy 2-0 victory. What are we talking about? Nice and simple for them. Another shutout. Another good-looking performance. The team seems to be responding to Arne Slot perfectly.
Yeah, he slotted right in. I'll say it again.
Yeah.
I find it different, though, the style of football. It's not heavy metal. It's not that real high press anymore. It's very much more controlled, and the way I see it, more cultured, more mature, I guess you'd say.
That's a fair way to put it.
It's not just all about this. I don't know another word for it, so I am going to say it. I'm not trying to make a comparison between Jurgen Klopp in 1937 to 1945 Germany.
Right.
His style was blitzkrieg.
Yeah.
It was hit you fast, hit you hard, hit you often.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's
High
what
pressure,
he did.
High pressure, win every ball.
And that's it. He called it himself heavy metal fucking football,
attack,
right?
attack.
Right. Bang. Just in your face. Liverpool held possession. They were patient. They probed. They switched the play from side to side. There were moments they moved quite quickly, as every good team should, right? To offset, the defensive recovery and kind of exploit that movement in that recovery and find space for themselves. But I just didn't see – I saw just a much more reserved, but, again, culture. Just – no, we aren't eating, fucking McDonald's in 12 minutes in the car on our way to our next account.
Right.
We're sitting down to a 6-course meal, and we're going to find a way to enjoy ourselves to a 2-0 victory.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They picked Brentford apart piece by piece like they were spatchcocking a chicken.
Brentford had one shot. Brentford had one legitimate opportunity, and Allison easily made the save. And that was really about it. And
Yep.
I think
Allison had a couple things to do.
I will say for me, what it really comes down to for them is as we're kind of growing into the season, it's what happens next week in the Northwest Derby.
Yeah, hands down. Yeah.
Sure money.
Championship. Sure
There it
money.
Through the magic of radio, nobody will know.
These guys will.
These guys know. The sewing circle will know, and the sewing circle will do
When
their
you
job.
redid the Manchester United button at from Ken to Taylor, it's Shore Money's green, actually, also, I'm just noticing. You should have known that.
Quote, I'm not drunk and pushing buttons. Maybe you need to, sweet
No,
thing.
she said, I am sober and put it.
Yeah.
She declared she was completely sober pushing buttons.
Yeah, that's
Anyway, this is the period of the show. We obviously had one new person listening. I apologize. I don't remember your screen name.
We have 3.
Wait,
friends.
welcome. This is
2 are
where,
Gunners. I didn't get the third one.
sarcastically, we give you our bets every week to let you know that we know what the fuck we're talking about. And we, at the end of the season, make good money, which we don't. So you lose at your own risk if you follow what we do. We try to be somewhat at least put together. Most of the time we don't. I am down $100. I'm 0 for 1.
Yeah, I am down 100 as well.
And so what do you have to rescue that?
All right, so I'm going to take a 2-game parlay. I'm going to take Aston Villa on the road at Leicester to win, and I'm going to take Brentford at home against Southampton to win. Those two will give me a plus 218 and put me back into the black.
Not too bad. Yeah, and I'm going to go way more into the black because I'm hitting what I'm hitting. I'm down 100 cold American doll hairs here, but I have Villa to beat Leicester and over 1.5 goals in that game because I think Ollie Watkins is going to score early and open his account for the season.
9-way parlay.
It's only 7, I think. And then I'm going to have somebody else there, maybe John McGinn score. I don't know. I think John McGinn would just kind of, hip bump the competition out of the way.
Ass bump.
Yeah, but those hips don't lie either.
That's true, they don't.
Okay, to contain that ass. I mean, come on. You have City to beat West Ham, and there to be over 2.5 in the game. I think City might win 3-1, 2-1. So I think there's going to be 3 goals, but City's going to have at least 2 of them in that game. Arsenal over Brighton, just in general. Brentford over Southampton, also just in general. And then Fulham to beat Ipswich as well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, in a 7-way parlay.
Not good gambling.
Pays me plus 1770.
All right, already swinging for the fences. One game in and down, and we're already swinging for the fences.
All I need is proven by last season is one of these fucking things to hit, and I win.
Yeah. All right, well,
so I'm going to keep it going.
That's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, do have to talk about it because it is quite sad and something that is, as long as you're around our age, you know a lot about, and that's Sven-Goran Eriksson passing away.
Yep. It was a battle with cancer he had, right? We all kind of knew for a while now that he was not doing well.
And he passed away this morning as we record, obviously yesterday through the power of radio, if you're listening to this just on the old audio platforms. But he's my first like real recollection of watching England, the national team. Was Sven and that golden generation. I mean, they had fucking everybody, right? They had, you had Gerrard, you had Lampard, you had Scholes, you had David Beckham, you had, all
Rooney.
of Wayne Rooney, you had all of these people. He called up Theo Walcott for the first time.
Yeah.
As a 16-year-old unused substitute through the tournament in Germany back then. There's so many anecdotes as well. I mean, they're not great on paper. As we've discussed in this show, we do a lot of drinking, and we want you to feel like you're at the bar with us talking shit about the games and talking shit about the tactics and doing that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously in that situation, there are things that are said that are not meant, that are typically quite sexist, and Sven did that too and somehow stayed above board in the media.
He
not sure how that happened, but the guy
enjoyed a drink, he enjoyed a smoke, and he enjoyed the company of ladies.
Yes,
that would
especially
be the kindest way to say it.
Thai women.
Yeah, he was.
But he specifically wanted to retire and just live with 2 of them.
If you didn't want to say it nicely, he was a drunken womanizer, and we loved him for it. Somehow he was the one who got away with it. Right?
Yeah,
because most times, no, even back then, you wouldn't get away with it, and he just has always gotten away with it.
He's also just a not quite attractive Swedish man.
Yeah, so
he's bald. So doesn't have a particularly strong chin.
Sven just pulls down women, man. Like,
yeah,
fuck yeah.
I mean, usually, people excuse the misogyny of like Zorro type figures, right?
Right.
Strong chin, big chest,
Casanova.
Yeah, he deserved it. Look at him, he rides a horse.
You did Zorro when Zlatan was right there.
I'm just saying. Yeah, no, I know.
Also,
I don't find Zlatan to have a particularly strong chin either, to be honest. Not like Chuck Norris. #America.
Heard.
But what I think about Sven is just what a legend. He never had a playing career of note, but turned into this this kind of almost cult figure of football management because he managed, they took all these very weird jobs. Nothing. He was the technical director at Derby. He managed, I think, Leicester for 3 months or something before he got
like
canned.
the Singapore national team, Mexico for a little while. He was everywhere.
But he was also Ivory Coast, I think, at one point. He was one of those few managers that was better at the international game than he was at the club game. He, being tied down to a particular city is a bad move for a guy like Sven. He needs to be able to move around, feel around.
That's what he does.
But it just, I just remember this guy just being kind of larger than life, just being fun to watch, just being one of the first, obviously you had David Beckham, but kind of foreign playboys that we were exposed to really in the footballing world and how big football could be. Because if a dude that looked like that can pull down some of the tale that he told stories about, it's like, bro, you've got to be a footballer.
Yeah.
And nothing proves that more, right, than Peter Crouch, his famous quote, said, "What would you be if you weren't a footballer?" He was asked in an interview, and he said, "Probably a virgin," because he's just this lanky ass string bean with big teeth, and nobody would probably want him. So just he combined this love of the game, this love of football, this kind of unbridled childish passion for the sport itself, with this weird sort of lovable misogynistic playboy that all of us fell in love with, and created this legendary, just average Joe Swedish man. And it's amazing.
Oh,
it's absolutely amazing.
Absolutely going to be missed.
God rest his soul.
Going to be remembered forever. Next up is DU does the EFL. I'm sorry, DU does EFL. Don't put in the. It's like Debbie does Dallas. Exactly.
On,
Debbie doesn't do the Dallas. She just does Dallas. And that's where we're going to discuss the rest of the English football leagues. And then we have Injury Time, which is our preview show for the weekend's action. Now, EFL is completely free, so just all you have to do is subscribe, look it up wherever you get your podcast. But should you want to find Injury Time or Soundcheck, Mr. Graham, how do you go about doing that?
It's very easy. One last time. I'm going to bookend the show with it, actually. It is patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier. You get our extra content. That Soundcheck, as Sam says, the preview show. You find a lot more about us personally. And a lot of fun, random stories from our personal lives and shit like that. And then Injury Time, the preview show. Find out beers, find out other cool stuff, and our fantasy stuff.
Alrighty. Till next week, everybody.
Good night.
All right. Hang around, guys. Because there was a couple chat questions you didn't get to, and I said if they were sticking around, I would ask them because
Yeah, please go ahead.
Smokey specifically was a little annoyed at y'all.
Okay, well, because we didn't talk nonstop about
Yeah, they had less possession and still won. It sounds a lot like David Moyes to me.
Fine. Oh, here I was talking about Kilman leaving Wolves, but nothing about his pass for Bowen's goal. And then he did this face.
Okay, well, Smokey, got to remember, if it goes into OSO, it's only getting a couple sentences. But I always make it a point, and trust me, there'll be times throughout the season where you will be in one of the first two segments, and we will talk it down and break down your team more. But in order for the manner of timing, OSO is legitimately OSO that happened. We're not pontificating forever anymore. We will miss bits about your game when we talk about that.
I wasn't annoyed. Producer Mel might be exaggerating.
Okay, very good. So, but
He
that's
definitely
just.
had this face though.
But that's the truth. That's just the truth behind it, everybody. That's just how it's going to be as we're trying to streamline the show a little bit more.
So Shore Billy says, can't think of anything. Great job. Moss Sports World, right on. Smoke, I wasn't annoyed.
It's okay, Smokey. I still love you.
BX Gunner 81, who also brought another friend in. Great show. Thank you. Genuinely enjoyed the content. We'll most definitely be tuning in.
Oh, thank you very much.
Cheers.
And of course, Shore Billy is the welcome party for a DU football show because he's inviting him over to the Facebook group.
Excellent. Love
Awesome.
it. That's
Well
exactly
done.
what
Thank
we
you
want.
for that,
So,
Shore
fellas,
Billy.
we are going to keep this channel open. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to record the EFL show and
And injury time.
And injury time. But we'll do the EFL show here on this video. But until then,
See you soon.
2. There we go. We are back and live on the internet.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, this is the so we do 2 free shows.
Wait. Wake up. Should I go louder?
Yeah. So we do 2 shows, and the first one obviously is the Premier League, but we also discovered, they've been doing this now for 7 years, that there's a lot of supporters who have teams that go down, and they still listen to the show, and we wanted to make sure we did a little something fun for them, and we were doing.
Swift teams at my quarter.
Yeah, shut up. We also have we were doing a segment called Championship Corner where we were talking about the championship, and that would be like a whole nother 15 minutes to the show. And then we were on Injury Time talking about teams in League One and League Two, and it just reached a point where like, we should just do a quick show recapping it. So this is not going to be a ton of X's and O's. Honestly, it's just us kind of going over some scores and saying a few thought processes. It's short and sweet. It's about 20, 30 minutes long at the most, and it's just us kind of catching up on the rest of football.
Yep.
Because there are some teams that Mr. Graham and I have a infinity for.
Yeah.
All right, Mrs. Houston, we are ready to go when you are.
Professional.
That's my beautiful fucking bride right there.
Were those the what pretzels were those?
I made a little sandwich out of the Clancy's salted pretzel.
I thought they were Clancy's.
With a Hershey's chocolate bar.
I like the Clancy's.
Yeah, so it's the well, there's more out there, but it's the Clancy's Hershey's chocolate bar sandwich.
All right.
Let's keep it going.
Hey, look, I have people who want to know what's in my pockets.
Listen more, you'll know what that means.
Mr. Graham, there was a battle of early heavyweights in the championship this week.
Yes, there was.
And someone surprising won, and somebody very surprisingly did not win.
Yes.
And what's even funnier is that it's going to make Newcastle people get all kinds of like feelings about it.
Well, they're going to be half excited, half disappointed.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then Pompey's is doing what Pompey's been doing, which is carrying on.
Dead even.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Smell the Malort. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to DU Does EFL, a brief biased recap of the rest of English.
Beefy brief.
I'm keeping it fucking going. Of the rest of English football, as told by 2 common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, waiting for every verbal slip that I could have, but wasn't around for my real slip this weekend,
Hey.
is Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing there, bud?
Not too bad, Bear. How are you? Just keep the beef on slinging, buddy.
Yeah, trying my best. And of course, on the 1s and 2s, we have producer Mel. How are you doing?
Moo.
What?
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, streaming live every single Monday night. And it sounds like YouTube is the place where all the party is happening.
Apparently, it's also on Mel's circular system.
So, should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
It's at DU Football Show on all the social media, of course, and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Very good. We are
Too much
drinking
Happy Pen.
We are drinking the exact same shit, and Mel is smoking the exact same shit, just more of it. So let's go ahead and get right into it. As I mentioned at the beginning, Sam, an early season battle saw Sunderland beat Burnley 1-0, and that now has them and Watford as the only 2-3-0 teams at the top of the table.
The issue I have with this is I don't think either one of them is going to be able to sustain that, obviously.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
But it's the championship and you never know, right? Some people have – this is one of those leagues where the best of the league can compete in the Prem. Mm-hmm. The worst in the league are League One players that couldn't be sold.
Right.
So you've got this weird swath of very elite talent and very, kind of third-tier talent.
Couple that with the fact that Burnley started off on fire the first 2 games of the season and looked like they were going to go right where they took off when they were in the championship 2 seasons ago, which was beating the ever-loving shit out of everyone.
Yeah, so let's start there then. Mm-hmm. Did you see the post-match with Scott Parker?
No, I did not.
Good, because they asked him what goals he had set for the club when he came in and what his plan was, and he said there were no goals. I just didn't set any targets.
Really?
Yeah, there was a lot right here, and we just want to keep that going.
Okay.
That's
should
inspiring words.
Should be at least win the fucking league.
Inspiring words from
win
the manager.
League, get promoted again.
From the guy that wears 1,700-pound cardigans on the side of the pitch. There could be a bit more of a cohesive, coherent, and
much
just message.
Much like a supermodel. Really easy to look at. Not a lot going on upstairs. Leeds got their first win of the season.
Finally,
beating Wednesday on Friday 2-0. That was just fun to say.
It always happens.
It's great to say.
We do it every time.
Whenever Wednesday plays, we say Wednesday on the day that they played. It just makes us feel happy, doesn't it?
It does feel good. I mean, fantastic for Leeds. They needed something because those first 2 games of the season were just, you had the barn burner with Portsmouth, and then last week losing, obviously.
Well, a draw.
It was another draw. Yeah, you're right. It was 0-0, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I wanted to shoot myself. That's why I thought. Because everyone that watched it, Sam, lost that day.
Aronson scored, and why am I forgetting his name? The kid from that went to United that came from Swans. That's now with them.
I don't remember.
Daniel James. Daniel James was the other goal scorer.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so that was their 2 goal scores. And honestly, that's going to be a lot of their goal scoring this year with the pieces that they've lost.
Yes, I would tend to believe so because I don't think they're going to be able to pick anybody up. They claim they're in financial hardship, even though they were in the Premier League last season. But they had a mass. Oh, you're right. Yeah, that they didn't. Oh, that's right.
Because they didn't get promoted.
It didn't get promoted. It all just blends together, Sam, at some point. Yeah. But they are in financial hardship because they have had a load of massive Premier League contracts still on the books.
Yep.
So they can't really bring anyone in despite the sales of some of their best talent really over the last 10 days.
Yeah, they got to manage the books. That's exactly what they have to do. And that's the problem with the parachute payment. It's great. You get that parachute payment. You got to figure out a way to get right the fuck back up, though.
Correct. And also next season, the parachute payment goes down. After this is the last season at $42 million. I think it goes down to 37, I think I heard.
It.
So you get $5 million less.
So Pompey continued their drawing ways. They drew 2-2 at Middlesbrough. So a couple of the,
But Mike Carrick's not having
teams.
a great time there all of a sudden.
Yeah,
he started off really well at Middlesbrough.
It's all decent teams, I mean, Luton's at the bottom of the table right now, but Luton's a team that just came down from the Premier League. Leeds is a team that competed to get promoted. And Middlesbrough is somebody who's always in and around it. So for Pompey, this is fine.
Yeah, especially when Luton's goalkeeper thinks he plays rugby.
Yeah, very true.
That didn't help Luton at all.
What I think Pompey needs to make sure they do is they're going to eventually play somebody like Plymouth. They need to beat them, right?
Absolutely.
That's when they're going to start to get those matches when they play Wednesday. These are the teams they're going to need to beat.
Right, exactly. And I told you about it when we spoke about Arsenal, right? Say we lost the league at Villa. That was the one that confirmed it. The league was lost against Fulham and West Ham, right?
Precisely.
You have to beat the teams that you're supposed to be in and around. And for Pompey being in League One for so long and then coming up, it's going to be Plymouth that you have to beat. It's going to be, I know they went down, but the likes of Huddersfield Town and those sorts of teams that are in that, 19th, 18th through 24th realm, that's who you have to win the games against.
Yeah. Now, Pompey is amongst several teams that have not lost yet. So you have them. Hull City's also at 3 draws, no wins, no losses. Of course, Leeds is on 1 win, 2 draws. And then you have, obviously, at the top of the table, you have both Watford and Sunderland, both on 3-0. So
3-0, yep.
Now, the bottom of the table sees some people that you wouldn't normally expect to see down there: Millwall, Luton, and Cardiff. They currently occupy the bottom 3 spots, but everybody in the league has a point. Everyone's gotten at least a draw.
Okay.
So the entire...
Better than Everton and Wolves.
And it's the parity of that league, too, though. But it's honestly, it's the parity of the championship. Everyone gets some points.
I would expect Millwall to get out of it, obviously.
I would expect it too.
They're not usually in this position, really. Cardiff, I find less convincing. Their finances are an issue, have been for ages. Basically, since Neil Warnock was in charge, their finances weren't the best. But yeah, Luton, you got to figure Premier League team coming down. I didn't see a mass exodus from that club either.
No.
So you'd imagine they'd find a way to be
They'll
safe.
Figure it out.
Excuse me, and we'll see some different teams occupy the bottom. The other thing you have is the championship is 3,000 games long. So
I would say somebody like Plymouth is already just sitting on the outside of it, and I know we have a soft spot for Plymouth, but let's face it, Plymouth is a League One team. That's what they always have been. So probably sophomore jinx, and they'll probably go back down. You would
could
imagine.
be, especially with Wayne Rooney in charge.
But I do think
That's
in that
not
regards,
going well.
But like someone like, I feel like Pompey's going to figure out a way to stay up. Just because I have a feeling, a lot like Sunderland, it took you forever to get out of League One. Now you are out of League One. You are not fucking going back.
Yeah.
You will make sure you do not go back. You may not make it to the Prem, but you ain't going back to fucking League One.
That's going to depend on that weird French owner that does up bars for Newcastle fans and stuff.
Stockport just keeps on fucking winning in League One. This time they won 2-0 over Bristol Rovers. So them, Huddersfield, and Charlton Athletic all got victories and hold serve at 3-0-0. But Stockport, it's they just keep rolling. They're beating teams, beating them convincingly, not giving up goals. I have a feeling Huddersfield will do very, very well. We talked about it last week. It would not surprise me if Huddersfield went straight the fuck back up.
Yeah, it wouldn't. They're too big of a club now. Recently being in the Prem and everything else, with all that influx of cash, because they weren't one of the teams that signed 150 players
right
when they came up either. Right,
yeah.
Their manager was on not great wages for Premier League managers, so when they sacked him, they didn't have to shell out a shit ton of money.
Yeah, precisely.
Comparatively. So I think their finances are still fine. They should be able to kind of roll the championship, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, League One, rather, and get back to the championship.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Stockport does.
But if they don't, they're in fucking trouble.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just like what's happened to Reading, what happened to Derby County, what happened to Sunderland, what happened to Pompey, like what happened to Bolton. All of these teams, that if you fall out of the championship, that really changes things, because then it's not guaranteed TV money every week. At least when you're in the championship, there's still some fucking TV money.
Yeah, but with Pompey, I mean, those sins were committed while they were a Premier League club.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they went into administration, had no money then.
Yeah, precisely.
It was well worse for them, because they started the championship season after they went down. They started the championship season with a point deduction.
Yeah.
Then it was decided they liquidated the company altogether and had to start a new Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Technically, Portsmouth were founded in 2017 or some shit.
Yeah.
Or 12 or whatever it was. It's
yeah.
something like, back in the day is what I'm saying.
Right.
The, you'd hope it's not that bad for some of these other teams, really.
Agreed very much. Now, Wrexham moved into 4th place with a 3-0 win over Reading. Reading, remember I told you from the parking lot of the Blues matches, I met someone who is a massive Reading supporter, so had a little bit of talk with him online. Apparently, they are in the middle of a takeover. So all the finances that kind of fucked them last year.
Owners were fucking terrible.
And they're in the midst of a takeover. So you have a feeling once they get that takeover done, they'll figure out a way and they'll be getting right right the back up to the championship where they belong. It's maybe occasionally they go up to the Prem, but for the most part, this is a 10th place team in the championship. That's what they should be.
It has been for a long time.
And that's what they should be, right? So I would imagine it's get the sale done, and then from there you can.
Do you
move
remember
on.
when Petr Cech fractured his skull?
Yep.
That was an Irish Reading player that did it, if you remember correctly.
All right. And then Wigan is on the board. They got a 1-0 win over Crawley Town.
Good for Ben,
Yeah.
because he's from Wigan.
Mm-hmm.
Supports him,
Yeah.
obviously, other than the team he actually works for.
Right.
But it's still a rugby town, and it doesn't surprise me they've taken this long to get off the mark.
Speaking of
be honest
Ben's
with you.
other love, Aki got worked in League 2, 3-1 to Newport. They currently sit in 22nd place. So remember, only 23rd and 24th go down.
Yeah, that's bad for Aki. For those that don't know, obviously there's some new people on. We should probably explain who Ben is. Ben Kay is the groundskeeper at Accrington Stanley, formerly of Chorley FC.
Yep.
Where he rose to English and wider worldwide soccer community kind of lore,
Right.
as the groundskeeper that was able to keep the pitch unfrozen for Tottenham's visit to Chorley.
It was Derby County they beat. And then the next round, they lost to Wolverhampton.
Oh, it was Wolves. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no,
But it was
yes,
Derby County
correct.
was the one that they kept it unfrozen for. And they won that game in the third round of the FA Cup too.
But they are a team that is well non-league, 6th or 7th tier easily. But Ben was pictured with a very clear coffee mug filled with Guinness. I'm sure is as the lore goes. Sleeping on the field with a hairdryer in his hand and space heaters around to keep the pitch unfrozen, basically. And they built a tent around the place and the whole nine. Anyway, he was kind enough to give us an interview back in the day. And we have glommed on to... We loved Accrington Stanley anyway. As
one of the original 12.
As a club, one of the original 12, but also, as I always say, and I have to reiterate, the Leyton Orient of the North.
Yeah.
Where everyone's second club in London is Leyton Orient, everyone's second club up north is Accrington Stanley. And for some reason still felt the need to release a commercial in the mid-90s that goes, "We're Accrington Stanley." And the person replies something along the lines of, "Who's that?"
Who's Accrington Stanley? Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the kid drinking milk. He goes, "You know what? One day I'm going to grow up big and strong and be a striker for Accrington Stanley." Who's Accrington Stanley? Exactly.
Yeah. So, but everybody fucking does know the club. So that's where this comes from, just so you know. And it's a shame to see this happen, especially Newport County and their potato patch of a pitch
field,
that we've seen many times now in the recent FA Cup.
That is
editions.
hosted not one, but 2 monster truck rallies. That's very important to know.
Exactly right.
And the Dons got a win, which I know we're not too terribly happy about, but they are out of the cellar, and the cellar is now held by, we know their name is Morecambe, but that's not what we call them. Shrimps out for Macombi, man. Shrimps out for Macombi. They're in last place right now. We can't have that. Not Macombi. Not the Shrimps.
And again, with new people joining in, the inside joke is "Dicks out for Harambe" that showed up on that overhead sign on an American highway, and Morecambe is spelled the same suffix.
Yep, Morecambe. It's Morecambe, and they have a shrimp on there. They are the Shrimps, and it is a shrimp on their crest.
And we're white, so get your shrimps out for Morecambe.
Shrimps out for Macombi, baby. Finally, the League Cup is...
Well, excuse me.
Yes.
Pardon me.
Yes.
You skipped over my natural rival.
Oh, yeah. Gillingham's still in first.
Fuck Gillingham.
Yeah, just in Bradford. Bradford City sits at in second place as well.
Good for them, but fuck Gillingham.
They beat I forget who it was. They beat somebody decent. So, and
I have a beef with the most boring town in England, and that is Gillingham.
Gillingham. You mean the Gills? Even though they call them Gills. Yeah,
I hate Gillingham.
All right.
Gillingham.
Finally, the
More
League
like
Cup. The League Cup is this Tuesday and Wednesday. A few notable matches. Now, neither Villa or Arsenal are playing because they are in European spots, so they get to sit out this round.
We get a bye.
Right off the bat, Everton host Doncaster, which was the match we played last year in the League Cup, and it's the match that we won to kickstart things a little bit for us.
I see a 2-0 loss.
And Doncaster was, at the time when we played them, dead last in the league, and they were up on us 1-0 for most of the game. It took a late game winner from Beto.
Everything looks smashing.
Exactly.
Can't wait.
Tranmere, everybody's favorite
Liverpoolian club.
Team, yep.
Yeah.
Especially good old Dino. That was his team, right?
Oh, Mike Dean's?
Yep.
Yeah.
They head to Leicester. Wolves host Burnley. That should be a pretty decent one. And then there are 2 all-Prem fixtures. West Ham get the Cherries at home, and Forest will host Newcastle.
I think West Ham win, and honestly, I think Forest have a good shot.
Yeah, agreed. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think Newcastle's going to rest players, especially with their injury record from last season. They've already got the Fabian Schär red card. Mm-hmm. Don't fuck it up in the League Cup again. Now that you're fit, able to play again, so you're going to sit.
And they've made it to the semis or the finals in the last 2 years. So I think they're going to, what's a surefire way to get into Europe? Win a fucking cup.
Yeah, but I think what I'm saying is I think Newcastle's going to rest players because I think they're worried about the league.
Heard. Fair enough.
And then Fabian Schär being an idiot.
I got you.
He's also taken his suspension and retired from international football.
No shit. No, I didn't see that.
He did.
I would say I fancy Burnley to beat Wolves. Wolves aren't off to a particularly great start. Burnley is, and I think Burnley would love to have a go against a former Premier League side.
Yeah, I don't unfancy that.
Yeah. It's so although they do have to travel to the Molineux, so that might end up proving to be a little tough. But
apparently, again, according to Mattaweke, it is. This town is shit.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
Note, I did say parting words this time, not party words. So, but should you have party words, by all means, say party words.
Fucking get them down, yeah.
Blackout drunk, fall upstairs.
I have nothing.
Break a foot.
Yeah, and nobody that I've seen over the last 10 days has been a particular dickhead in the championship either. So.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Next up is injury time, and that's where we're going to preview the weekend's action. We'll talk a little bit about our fantasy league and the beers that we're drinking as well. And should somebody want to find injury time, Mr. Graham, how they go about doing it?
One last time, it's patreon.com/DFootballShow. Just sign up to that $1 $5 tier. You get all the extra stuff that we do, which is a lot of fun, extra content. So check it out.
And, of course, be sure to check out our TikTok channel. All throughout the weekend, we do halftime check-ins. We talk about the games throughout the weekend as well. Great place to get content from us. We also, Mel breaks down the entire show into video and has...
Mel's not going to do that anymore.
She does the whiskey segment for us and a few other fun things.
Mel will pull out some specific clips.
Lots of shots of us doing Malort in the wild, and there's some interviews with some players and stuff, and just fun things. So go check it out.
The other thing is sometimes if I'm on halftime check-in duty, depends if I'm running kids around somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got 2 soccer-age playing kids. Oh, by the way, EFL exclusive. Let's make people listen to it, right? Mm-hmm. Tegan made varsity.
Woo! Holy shit.
Yeah, has a very real chance of being the starter as a freshman.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking dope.
Get in, girl.
Come on.
Well done.
Yeah, it's the proud papa here.
Love
it's very pretty good. But yeah, so check all that shit out.
That was easy.
Yeah, we did. She only started playing goalkeeper a year ago. Remember?
Yeah, exactly.
But so it's that kind of shit we get into on the extras. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun.
Excellent. All right.
And injury time, especially because we're kind of drunk.
Yeah. Till next week, everybody.
Good night.